Hello, traders. This is Andy in the support webinar. Let me know when you guys can hear me and see my screen. Hopefully, got used to Barry handing me off for a couple of weeks, and I think I remember how to do everything. But just somebody just type there in the chat if you can see my screen and you can hear me. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Yay! Anyway, Bill, how are you, buddy? Okay, just I was nervous there for a little bit. Hey, Charles, thank you. All right, some crazy action today, huh? Man, just brutal. It's hard market to make money. Well, anyway, this is a support webinar. So if anybody out there has any questions or anything they'd like to see in the software, just hit me up there in the chat and I'll be happy to help you. And if I can't, maybe Pepe's around in here and he can always chime in. But meanwhile, also, if you have any questions about trading, any questions about the market, be sure to. And I gotta move my little thing over here. I have a stop in a few things, but just kind of want to make sure I'm on top of everything, and I'll kind of go over what I've been doing lately. Great, Bill. I'm glad you caught that SoFi. It was actually on my list today, I believe. No, maybe it wasn't. I thought about putting it on there. What did it do today? No, it had a move earlier. Not sure exactly. I can't remember when I call all these, but hopefully you caught Baidu. Baidu's been a nice one. It's called on this day back over here, breaking out above that double high. Hopefully it can hang in there. Twice I didn't, huh? Yeah, when they set up, I don't mind, doing it again. It's like I kind of wanted to call Vips again today because I know I called it back over here. Uh, yeah, I just keep thinking this thing wants can get going, but definitely been in a few China stocks. Did well. Have done well on Baba. Still in some. Baidu haven't crushed it, but performing. I haven't. This market, man, makes you pull back your size. I mean, just look at the action today. My gosh, it's brutal. Lucky to be up on the day. Thanks to my China. I sold a lot of China at the open. So thanks to a lot of those stocks. Otherwise, yeah, I could easily see me getting crushed in a day like today. Hi, Three Sharp. Hi, Net Trade. How you guys doing? There's some things. Strange market. I mean, you got Google exploding like it has. Uh, you got Microsoft rolling over like it's doing. You got Ameritrade. I'm sorry, Ameritrade. AMD rolling over like it is. So yeah, so you hate to hear the term stock pickers market, but man, boy, it sure feels like it. That's just one reason why I've been kind of dabbling in a lot of China. I quit. I wasn't doing anything for a while, but the last couple of weeks, I've definitely been getting in more into China. Oh, there you go. Nothing like a good old scalp there, Trader 77. So, real quickly, going over my positions, Baba, I've been in, actually held this one I very seldom do this, but did hold that one in the earnings. So a lot of that was in the earnings, but and it's been difficult to trade since. Baidu hasn't been too bad, just kind of a stair stepping higher. Uh, I did buy JD yesterday. I scalped most of it out. I just thought maybe this thing could get going. It looked like it was, and when the market opened, Vips is another one that's been kind of lagging. If it can get above that, it should be explosive. Let me put a price alert back in there. Well, I do have one in there. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. There it goes. It's delayed. Path earnings play. It was holding up well this morning. And yeah, no, I got to stop it. Think below this level right here, 27. So I got to stop at 26 in that one. If it doesn't hold up, it'll be gone. I think I do. Let me just make sure I get that in there. Right. Okay, just going through the list here. PDD is one. Keep an eye on this one. It had earnings a couple of weeks ago. Thought they were good and holding up here. You can see this is kind of a critical level up here that it can't get through. I think if it does, it'll just explode. But yeah, just being kind of stubborn right now. Well, a lot of stuff's being stubborn in this market. Uh, and then you guys know I've been trading this one for a while. I gave back some during this move. Thinned out a lot once it broke through that 50 period moving average. I don't get too stubborn with these things. But it's still in the longer term. Let's just stretch this out. I still like the way it's kind of you. I'm not going to draw it here. You really basically still have, I'd say, higher lows, although barely hanging on. Uh, I would still call this a wedge, but it definitely needs to hold on. Definitely needs to hold this level right here. The heck was that? Duplicate. And I think that's about it. Yep, that's everything. Sometimes I'll have things on my blotter that I won't have on here just because I don't want to stare at them. It may be a small position or something. I'm just playing for the longer term. Uh, oh, this one, yeah, this one right here. I just pretty much a flat in it. Yeah, it's a China, and sometimes I know how these things trade, and a lot of times once they have a big sell off like this, you could have a nice 4 or 5 day bounce. Thought I'd get a bar reversal, and I've been nibbling in this the last 3 days just because it's China, and I kind of know how it trades. And I would never teach somebody to trade stuff like this, but and then and of course I loaded up this morning thinking I was going to get the bar reversal. I still haven't gotten one. So it really needs to tag that $8. Not giving up on it though. Yeah, in the back of people's mind, Trader 77, September is historically the worst trading month of the year. So we are extended. I think we would have probably already sold off if it had not been for like certain news with especially Google. And of course, you had Amazon too with a nice, gap and go yesterday. Those are kind of helping. You see the semis aren't doing as well. Look at AMD, even Nvidia is below its 50 now. So mixed signals out there. I I'm hoping. Oh, I forgot to talk about Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, one of the big winners today, and I haven't talked about it, but I keep thinking this is going to go, so I try to hang on with a little bit conviction when I should be scalping this thing until it proves otherwise. But I did take some profits today. I have to say a little bit, but oh, and then RR I bought today. Steve pointed this out to me today, hitting the 20 period moving average. So that one I did buy today. See, this is what's frustrating is you get a hold on just a minute. I may drop that down just a little bit. You see a stock that's holding up during that whole downdraft, in the market when the market was just getting obliterated, especially the tech sector, well, a lot of them. And then the market starts to regain its footing, and this one wants to roll over. It's a typical this thing. Well, it's like seems like every quarter. I think their earnings are pretty good, but they just never can get going. I But I don't get stubborn with it. I give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, I'll get out. But I don't want it to penny whip me, I call it. So I am going to I'm gonna put it at 24. Okay, market's trying Qs are trying to get through their fast line here. So if we can poke back above, this level, we'll call it this level right here. Could see a little rally, but it is Friday. Hey David, how are you? What do suppose might be up with KOD? Yes, I am familiar with that one. Yeah, not a lot of volume. I mean, not bad. Relative volume went 1.5. Low float. Yeah, that was actually. I mean, it would have been hard to trust, except maybe through 9:30, 35 level. But I don't know. I have no idea. You probably get news after the bell. Yeah, sure did. And you can see a little bit of a blip there, volume on that first move, but really nothing strong since then. Just impressive move higher. I mean, the thing has run well over a buck, so I don't know. Really no resistance until you see the R line, the resistance line. So this thing could very well go to 1041. Needs to hold 984. And Tesla just seems like it's dying. I can see this thing very well putting in just a doji today. Oh yeah, I did grab some financials. I had an alert in one of them. I think it was WFC. I always keep an eye on this one because it's usually the first one to show signs of weakening. And I saw a downdraft in that one. I was able to grab some FAS this morning. Scalped out of most of it because usually they're short-lived, but something to keep an eye on. Take a look at XLF. But typically, I've noticed these things will get weak like this, and you're thinking, "Oh man, Armageddon. We have another credit crisis." And then what happens? They dig in, and once like tech gets weak, then you'll have a rotation in the financials, and they'll get strong again. But I always like to be prepared. I think the best thing to short financials is always like near all-time highs. That seems to me when they start cratering like this. All right. Let's take a look around. Okay, you got tan sector is pretty strong. First Solar was on my list for a couple of days, but because it was setting up nicely, but it's a hard to trade stock. Yeah, yeah, I've been that's same here, Justin. Uh, yeah, I took a lot of profits this morning on my China, a lot of my China plays. See, I sold some Vips near highs, sold some Baba near highs, and some Baidu. But Baidu is really performing well lately. I don't know if the Google move has much to do with it, but I can see right here, you kind of right here, you broke a downtrend. See that? That's kind of a textbook break there. And then it did it, 2 days in a row. It tried to like gap down on this day, and just but that was incredible strength right there. So who knows? And you like for it to hold the psychological at the huge 100 level. RR is trying to get through that 50. Keeps button heads. Let me just put this up here at, see, well, it looks like 50 51 is where it's having a hard time. Man, my thing's not updating. I've had trouble with this. We're gonna get a new dev build here pretty soon because mine's been really wonky. Oh, that was nice. No, it's just a bad tick. I was gonna say. Yeah, that's discouraging. I have a stop on half of it at 85. It's a big level. I think if this can get back above 1150, yeah, I think it may, because there's no resistance in this thing. Uh, let's just pull this out real quick. Gosh dang it. So you got this level right here, which is basically 1145. I think if it gets back above that, and then you can see, yeah, 1145. I think get back above that. I really believe this thing has a chance to, at least run 30 cents, 30, 40 cents to that 50 period moving average. But it's got good volume. So I think if it can get back above that level, big if. Qs can't push above the fast line. Let's take a quick look at the spies, see what they're doing. Hanging on to their 10 period moving average, but same thing. The spies can't get hold this 10 period moving average as well. So we could bleed over and see some more selling. Plab was a call. That the Plab was my pick in the Trader Eye. If you got anybody who gets the email, I love the way it was setting up here. After what was I thought was decent earnings, and it had a nice trading day off of earnings and actually gapped up, pulled back here, caught that 20 period moving average, and you also had some nice support right here that it got back above. I think the call today was above this high. 2235. Let's see. Yeah, 2235 was the call there. I still like it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if the market gets weak here again and a lot of the tech starts selling off, it can pull back here. But I like that it's back above its 10 period moving average. It's back above that three-day high. So I like the way this is setting up. I'll put alert in there. But my only concern, 3 sharp, is the market. I think if the market just doesn't get smacked, this thing will hold up. Personally, uh, I was not able to grab. I should have grabbed it in pre-market. That's what I should have done. But I was not able to get it today because I was busy selling China stocks. Yeah, it's doing about average volume. You can see there it only averages around 930. Okay, now that may be lighter today, being a Friday, but uh, we'll see what happens. I do like this. I like this with a chance for it to go back to highs. Another over $2 higher over the coming days. But I always tell people you got to keep the backdrop of the market, in play. WRD is hanging in there. I'd love to see this one get back above its 50. What's its brother Pony doing? Yeah, it's outperforming. No, it's about a little bit higher. Yeah, yeah. This is a. Oh wait, I gotta fix these. I gotta pull them up too high. Oh, I didn't know that would happen. This is my sector watch list. I've had a sector watch list for 27 years. I always want to know, what sectors are strong, especially when I was day trading. I would just live and die off this thing because you want to play the strong stocks that, uh, if you're day trading. And you can see the GDX is having a nice day again. It's an impressive looking chart. IBB is actually doing well today. So this is probably about 35 sectors that I like to keep an eye on. These are AI stocks and nano nukes. I have not been paying a whole lot of attention to them lately just because they've been very, very difficult to trade. I think, PLTR kind of selling off and then having a hard time bouncing a lot of these. Sound looks good. And it's just, you see, it's just so crazy. Every time I'm in this is the kind of action you get. Best way to trade these things lately is buy them on weakness because I promise you there's going to be weakness. It just seems like every day there's weakness in something. This is my nano nukes and my quant computers. These are stocks that were very active to the to the bull side. But lately, they've been under pressure, and I haven't really been trading them a lot just because they're so difficult. Once again, you almost have to buy these things, on weakness. I mean, they've just been very sloppy. And this is my swing trade watcher. This is where like to keep an eye on all the stocks that are on my watch list. I do a video each morning, put it on Twitter and put it on YouTube. But and then we have a channel if you want to follow these in a channel as well. There's a trader. Yeah, you can just go to that channel and click on that. And you can see all these in a race and a tree map, whatever you want to look at. But this is a global watch list that you have access to. That's why you can watch these things in a channel. Mike C, what's up, bud? Trade Wave threw in the towel on TMC. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that thing. It just can't move with the sector for some reason. Okay, one of the stocks you mentioned, DraftKings. Uh, yeah, yeah. I was in DraftKings and ended up taking off all my profits. Maybe I'll regret it later. Uh, I'm gonna look for a move. See if it comes back down to this 20. Yeah, I was in it over here and had some made some nice monies, but it just started getting really nasty, so I bailed. But I can get look at this morning. That, goodness, I'm telling you, in this current environment, buy on weakness. You chasing stuff. It's it's really tough. I was in that KSS earlier. I was hoping for a short squeeze. I ended up scalping it out, but I'll alert up there in case it can get through back through that level. All right, path. Boy, it just earnings are so tough. They just have one move. It seems like the first candle, and they slop around a lot the rest of the day, or they sell off. Oh, I am livid, Mike C. Yes, uh I'll get back in, but this is another tough one, to trade. But you can't buy it here. I mean, you almost have to either you wait for it to kind of break out at that monthly high there, or whatever 3 month high, or you wait for a pullback and nibble in on a pullback. But yeah, tough one to trade. I'm trying to think if I held. I don't think I held this time on those earnings. Yeah, we're getting get that time where just I don't know. We could end up closing flat today. I hope not, but yeah, yeah. I can't buy that one there. I'm mostly of the big boys. Obviously, I'm mostly focused on this Tesla now. I think, gosh, you think at some point one of these little mini breakouts are going to work, but as we've seen, just looking at that chart there, gosh, I'm about to get stopped out of some of this. That's really discouraging. All that's China's so strong, and you're going to go and set a. As a matter of fact, I don't know why I didn't trigger, but I got snapped out of half. Yeah, something wrong with that stock. Yeah, market's looking like it wants to bleed off. So Intel been up to lately? I gave it another shot the other day, but they're just kind of hanging out. You found an what? Whose X account? Are you talking about mine? Yeah, I opened it up, and then what happened is I, started to do my post on our company. I was gonna use that, and then I started with, "Shoot, let me" had a lot more viewers on the I'm not a big tweeter anyway, but, I was gonna use it to put the eye videos on, and then decided, "Well, shoot, that'd be dumb. Why not use the trade ideas when there's a lot more, uh, people on it?" So so I started using that. I haven't been on that one for a while. Yeah, this market is looking lower. Yes, yes, there you go. Good point. You know what? I think I had a bid out there on pretty sure I did. Let me see if I did if I closed that out. Yeah, I had a VIPS bid earlier at 13, but I canceled it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I did. Maybe I should have left it out there. Well, Baba's looks like it's poking its head up a little bit. Take a look at my China sector over here, my China watcher. CSIQ on the top of the board there. Seeing a lot of slop there to around there. Baba looks probably the best. Is it back there? Let's see what David. Let's see. How do you get the overhead resistance line on the chart? You know what? I don't know. I'll probably have a better idea once we get. I know when we're using new high. Let me see. Like anything that's using a new high, it'll show you the resistance line. But I know what they're working on is where it doesn't have to be a new high. It could be anything. It could be a top list. It could be any symbol you click on. It's going to start showing you uh, the resistance and the support lines. You can see that one that look just ran right up there and popped it. But right now, I'm getting a few charts, I think, when I don't click on one. Like sometimes I see them, but I think it's just because they're just introducing it. And I think on my next build, which should be early next week, we should should be able to see them all over the place. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of random right now. Let's try it again in Kodak. Now I don't have it. No, we don't have y'all, you could get that with your broker. That's all brokers pretty much give that for free, so we just don't provide, some data we don't pull. Time and sales and level 2 or one of them. Okay, cues keep head faking down. I'm tempted to buy back into some BABA that I sold. I don't. We're it got a few bugs in it, and we're working on it right now. As a matter of fact, I don't know I can't even get mine to pull up right now, but I know we're getting a new dev build that's going to work a lot of those bugs are going to be out of it. So the plan is after we get that and check it out for a few days to release it in a beta version for you guys. Now, hopefully that will be uh, next week, but I can't promise you anything. Yeah, that would be a huge crash, Trader 77, if we got it now. I probably should have left that Vips bid out there. I think I was coming on line here and I said, I don't want to be getting hit on bids if the market rolls over. Oh, you're welcome. Yep. A lot of these China stocks look like they want to go higher. Yeah, PDD's just kind of watching this one. That Tesla also looking pretty good here too. It's hanging out above its fast line. I'm sorry, Allie. Back to make video. Let's see, is an options channel. I noticed scans. Okay, David's saying it's still on the old channel bar. So if you go, if you may be in the dock channel. So this is if you want this channel bar, you just go to new and just click on channel bar. And let's see if the options up here. Now we do have show more at the bottom where you can see more channels. And there you have it, unusual options. So thank you, David. It's on the old channel bar, but you got to go down to the bottom and click on show more. And another little head fake in the market. You're welcome. And thank you, David. Yes, Mike. See, I am. If the dailies look good, and it's like Baidu obviously had earnings, incredible, move. Yes, it sometimes it's scary, but if the dailies look good and I have a lot of conviction, and I don't mind, holding some China overnight. Now, in most cases, it won't be huge size, but I tell you, you don't need huge size with some of these China stocks. It's just crazy. But I went through a, period of probably about a month where I don't think I've hardly touched any. Probably, let's pull up KWeb. It's one I like to look at. Yeah, there was a time here, probably, yeah, through this mess right here. I don't think I was hardly touching it at all. It was so nasty. But yeah, I would say over the last month I've been playing a few for sure. UNH still moving, huh? That looks pretty good actually. Getting close to that monthly high there, or last month high. Mikey likes it. Hey, Mikey. Yeah, James, I'm just well, first of all, a trend, like if you put a trend on a daily chart, so you're saying if you go from a daily to a weekly, the trend lines aren't there anymore? From a 3 minute to a 5 minute? Hmm. Yeah, it could be that they're just s- structured that way to, to only show the time frame because you can have a different, if you're a different trend in a smaller time frame. But I know what you're saying, but uh, let's just put a trend in. So you're saying if I put a one in this 15-minute here in Alibaba, and I go to a 3 minute. Have you tried it on okay, they do not carry over. Okay. Thank you, Peppy. Sorry about James. James, that's just the way they're kind of built into it to not to only work in the time frame you're setting them. So probably going to have to just reconstruct on a different time frame. Yeah, but I came back to it and it's still there. That's encouraging. Yeah, you can always make a feature request and send it in to info at trade-ideas.com. And I don't if it's it may be very tough for it to do if it's already built out that way. But we'll definitely pass it along to see if it's something that can be done. Tesla looks like it wants to move some more. It's always hard to tell. I just you take a look at it and you see action like today. It can be frustrating because really from this top going back, to what, over a month ago, we're not that much higher. As a matter of fact, we are at the same level. So I think there's a big battle going on, possibly, but you almost just have to, hold out till it resolves itself. I think as long as we're above the 50, there's times when, I get nervous. Like, we broke our 10 and our 20. I was saying, oh boy, we're going to go down here and tag the 50. We didn't even get near it. So to me, that's encouraging if you're bullish that you can't even get anywhere near this 50 period moving average. And I think, once they crash through those, it's you're it's kind of like this Nvidia, it could not get above its 50 period moving average after gapping down 3 days in a row. And what's happening. Same thing with AMD. Finally broke its 50. Well, kind of hung out at it right there. But until with our rotational market that we have, it's like spies. It's really tough because tech can get really, really weak, and you look over there, and all of a sudden, oil's strong, financials are strong, solars are strong. See, for the longest time, it just seems like used to be when I first started trading, it's like everything would move together. Now you just rotate into other sectors. It's pretty bizarre. And I think that's why anytime we have a bear market, it's very short. You know, when's the last time we had something like in 2000? You almost need a black swan. You almost need a credit event or a black swan, to really hit the market 30 or 40%. That's what it seems. It's historically, it just seems like to me is what it is. Otherwise, it's kind of rigged just to go higher. You have these rotations. If one stock starts not performing very well, what do? They kick it out of the SS spies and increase Nvidia, or increase Apple, percentage. So as far as the main averages go, that's why I'm telling my daughter when you start investing, just buy, one share of SPY every month and reinvest the dividend, and you're probably going to outperform most funds and your peers and your friends. Yeah, a lot of times there's that pleb. Who was it? Three Sharp poking this little head up again. It's what was the question? Hold on. You can almost a lot of times keep an eye on the sectors, and what you'll find a lot of times is a sector setting up. Now, let me say, for example, like financials are not having they're having a bad day. Okay, just pull up the XLF. But look back over here, probably when tech sector was really strong in August. I'm not going to pull it up and look at it, but if I had to bet, I bet the tech sector was performing pretty well right here. But as you can see, a lot of people were probably bearish because the financials looked like they wanted to break through this 50. And what happened is, if you have your eye on it, this thing was basically setting up for a move, and you got it. Uh, And yeah, going back to early August, you can see the Qs were on all-time highs. So you see that a lot of times. You see some sectors, you keep an eye on them and go through them each day. You can kind of see them setting up. You know, the tan sector back over here, basically just channeling forever, and then all of a sudden, Pam, you got a big move. You know, And look what happened when it did have a move. That's where you had the tech sector starting kind of to fall off. So you kind of can almost pick this rotation just by looking for setups in each of the sectors. Look at gold just sitting back over here doing nothing, and all of a sudden I don't know if that was a sector rotation or that just what, but yeah, I think you got to be careful, shorting stocks that are going higher. Lately a lot of times you don't the breakouts aren't following through, so yeah, that could be a strategy, but you got to be careful. I mean, just think if you were shorting Google when it went to highs right here, and remember the market was pulling back through all this, and Google just maintained. That was telegraphed right there that something was probably going to happen when you see it not following its peers. Let's see, what's that high there in Tesla? We got to call it, and then I got to run. We're gonna three. Let's call it 50. Biotech's IBB are having a decent day. Uh, yeah, I would say they were kind of setting up more over here. You know, now I would say it's already off to a good start of a run. So the setup is really not there for me. But you can see back over here when it couldn't go much lower, basing. Nice little move out of that one. All right, guys, I got to get going, but have a good one and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Keep it tight. Bye bye.